If you like trace rifles, let me introduce to you the cenotaph mask, aka the airway on your head. This is the new Warlock exotic for Season 21, and it focuses heavily on trace rifles. If you go ahead and check out what it does, it's going to steadily reload a portion of our equipped trace rifles magazine from reserves, which, in case you're wondering how much that is 4% of the magazine every 0.7 seconds. So it acts as an Axiom war rig for trace rifles, and if you damage a vehicle, boss, or a champion with the trace rifle, it's going to mark them, and when an ally defeats the marked target, they're going to generate special for yourself and then heavy ammo for your allies. And let's say that marked target gets finished by an ally who's wearing Aeons, your fire team is going to be living in heavy ammo. Granted, the double heavy drops wouldn't work for the person wearing the mask itself or the Aeons, but for everybody else in your fire team it would. Now that you know what this exotic does, what we're doing in this video is pairing it with every exotic trace rifle and then in Acacias with target lock, and just see what some trace rifles can do respectively damage wise. We got the Cold Heart, the Wave Splitter, the Prometheus Lens, the Agar Scepter, and for the meme, Divinity, which I'm gonna let you know right now, in any situation in the future, if you are wearing this helmet with Divinity, you're not gonna have to worry about reloading your div ever. This would have been insane if this released before the Divinity nerf. You could take a nap while applying a debuff for your teammates. It'd be so easy. Now, if we go ahead and look at what some of the trace rifles can actually do, starting off with Prometheus Lens, which is gonna be the weakest, unfortunately. Prometheus Lens just ain't that good. For special weapons, they're relatively okay. You're not obviously going to spend an entire damage phase shooting a boss with a trace rifle. I'm only doing it for the sake of showing off the exotic. Now, the Cold Heart, on the other hand, did at one point have a place in the meta. It was the OG weapon along with Merciless for taking down Callus back in 2017 in the good old Levy Ray, baby. And I'm just gonna say right now, this season, Cold Heart is cooking. It's not no top tier damage option anymore, but it is cooking for a lot of other reasons, as it does more damage the longer you hold down the trigger, and this exotic literally feeds right into that. Now, Wave Splitter as well is also really good, even without having access to volatile flow from last season. It's definitely not as good as it was last season, but it's still really good. And once again, with this exotic, it just helps it perform even more, makes it even better. This exotic as a whole is really awesome. I've really been coming around on trace rifles recently, starting with the Hollow Denial, and then last season, Double Special, Acacias. Trace rifles have just been really on the uphill for quite some time now. And like I said earlier, if you are ever using this exotic with Divinity, feel free to just hold left click the entire time. You will never have to worry about reloading it. Maybe after a minute straight, but who in the hell is going to be shooting a Divinity for a minute straight at a boss? There's no damage phase that even lasts that long. Now, a trace rifle that I was really excited to test this out with was Agar Scepter. As if you're new, you didn't know, you can consume your super with Agars, and it's going to do a lot more damage, really juice up that actual ice beam of this bad boy, but the effect would go away after you reload or if your super runs out. And this exotic greatly extends the duration of this super ice meter of the Agars, so I had to give it a spin. And the Agars did really well. Over 1 million on a trace rifle, I'll definitely take that. Now, the last weapon I tried was an Acacias. This bad boy had rewind rounds and target lock. It's the only legendary that we tried out in the video because it has a very unique role for this setup, so I figured why not. Other than that though, guys, it is gonna wrap up the video. The Lost Sector at the moment you're recording this video is dropping exotic helmets if you do want to go farm it, as this is a really good exotic, especially if you like trace rifles. Thank you for giving me over 3.5 minutes of your time today. That is very generous of you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing. You guys be safe. We'll see you on the next one.